So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the ninth edition of Tool Talk. Myself, Nishant Kashyap. I'm the editor of Tagma Times magazine and your host for today's session. So till now in the Tool Talk, all those who have attended before, we have listened to experts from the user industry, someone from academics, executive from Government of India, also from the association, and learned about the expectations from the user industry, new technical developments in the industry, and role of government in growth of MSMEs. In the ninth edition of the Tool Talk, we are going to touch upon the very important subject, but largely been neglected by many companies, the importance of strategic thinking and risk management. And to discuss the same, we have Mr. Naren Pramankar, founder and business coach of Aditya Consultant. Now I would like to request Mr. Shanmuga Sundram, Vice President Tagma India, to say a few words about Mr. Naren. Over to you, Mr. Shan.
Yeah. Good evening to everyone. On behalf of TAGMA and on behalf of EC members of TAGMA, I welcome Narendra Bamankar, founder of Aditya Consultancy, for this evening. He is a mechanical engineer with wide work experience of over 32 years in the industry, out of which 14 years is into plastic industry and 19 years in the business management systems as a management consultant, business coach, auditor, and trainer. He has worked with the companies like Supreme Industries, Bright Brothers, and Mutual Industries in tool room and project functions. His mission is managing today's risk to ensure tomorrow's rewards. Over last 2 decades, he has helped about 50 plus organizations for end-to-end business process mapping. Have received a certificate of excellence for demonstration of team performance during 3 assessment cycles of IMC, RB, and QA. Over a period of time, he has developed expertise over key areas such as business process improvements, strategic business
We can't.
Yeah.
Presently, he is providing coaching and mentoring services to manufacturing as well as services sector organization for process improvement, leadership development, and cultural transformation. We welcome you, Mr. Narendra ji. Please, I'm handing over for the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Shah. So before we start the conversation, I would request everyone to switch off their video and also remain in a mute mode. If you have any question, you can post them in the chat box below, which Mr. Naren can address at the end of the conversation. So shall we start, Mr. Naren?
Yes, please.
So just to set the tone to start the sessions, let us first talk about the trends in the tooling industry in the domestic and international. According to you, what are the key opportunities and challenges in the Indian tooling sector?
Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Nishant. And first of all, before we start, I would like to express my sincere thanks to Tagma and all the participants who are present here and who will be watching it afterwards. And before we start, just I would like to ask one small question to everyone. Is it, first of all, is it okay for me to ask you some questions? Can I have the permission? I would like to have a small poll to be conducted, and then we can continue with our discussion. I think that will help participants to understand the topic.
Sure.
So, Deepali ma'am, are you ready? Yeah. So the question here is, would you like to achieve sustainable growth in your business? You have to just say yes or no. And by the time our friends are responding, let us understand the current scenario in which we are passing. And we are passing through a very tough phase. At one side, there is a pandemic challenge. At one side, our customers are demanding the points. And we are struggling for sustainable growth. And everybody wants to achieve the sustainable growth. Let us see what are the poll results. Can you please display the results, ma'am?
Yes, we have the result on the
screen. We have the results out. Almost 26 out of 43 people are saying that yes, they want sustainable growth. Thank you, ma'am. And let us move to the next one. You can switch it off. Now, second point is, when most of us would like to have the sustainable growth, let us address the fundamental point. The question here is, do you believe that strategic thinking will help you in achieving your sustainable growth? Most of us would like to have the sustainable growth, but let us see our belief system. Do you believe that strategic thinking will help you in achieving your growth? So whatever efforts we do, we need to understand our mind works in a very dramatic way. Our little voice is either helping us to achieve our goals or it is dragging us down the goals. What happens? We believe sometimes yes, it will happen, and that belief takes us to the goal, come what may, and that we experience in our day-to-day life. So here is the poll. You can just give the answer. And the question here, what we are asking, because our mind is very active, and I would like to appreciate all of you for participation in this poll, and which will help you to take to the next level to achieve your targets. And here also, I would like to express a strong acknowledgement to you, because all of you have taken your time for this session, and I assure you that at the end of this session, you will be something different. You will get a great insights which will help you to achieve your sustainable growth. That is my assurance from you, since you have taken most of your time. And here, as Nishant has also addressed the question about current situation of the market, as we see in the global trend and even in domestic trend, one keyword is very important: what our customers are demanding. Our customers are expecting faster, better, and cheaper products. Let it be any product, whether it is mold or any domestic product. All the customers are expecting the same, and tooling industry is not apart from that. The tooling industry, there are a lot of demand in the customer side. Our government, our honorary Prime Minister is focusing on the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Consumer goods are in demand, and tooling is the mother industry. Being a mother industry, we have got a lot of potential for the tools, either in domestic market or in global market. As all of us are aware, I need not say, research is there in front of you. Our tooling industry is 18,000 crore industry and poised to grow at 25,000 crore in the coming years. And 70% contribution is from India. And all our tooling industry, we are targeting for growing from 70% to 90 or 100%, because dependency on import has to be reduced. And here we have to understand faster, better, and cheaper. And that's the way tooling industry is also moving in the same direction. That was the answer to your first question, Nishant. So result is that around 23 out of 50 people believe that strategic thinking will help us in achieving growth. Thank you, friends, for your response. And this will help us to move to the next level. Thank you, ma'am. And before we start that continued discussion, I would like to put one disclaimer here that while I am sharing my experience, my understanding about strategic thinking, I will share based on my wisdom. At the same time, necessary precaution is taken so that there is no damage to the personal or confidential information of any of my customers or any company. While sharing the information, the purpose is to make ourselves aware of the current facts. So my request to all of you is that please don't take anything personally. That is realization session. So please take it in the positive way, which will help you to do better. Thank you very much.
Right. So thanks for talking about the opportunities and also highlighting the role of Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign that can help us achieve larger goal. But there are a lot of challenges also in the industry that we see in our, day-to-day business life for any manufacturing MSMEs.
Right.
And it is tooling industry is not far away from that. So, what are those challenges in the tooling industry, and how strategic thinking can help us overcome these challenges?
Right. So, as far as my experience goes in the tooling industry, the more common challenges what we are facing,
Right.
first is the delivery commitments. Customers is expecting the molds in the least possible time, and we are struggling hard to put molds in the time.
Right.
Another is resource utilization and optimization. There is a profitability shrinking, and we have to optimize our operations. Capacity and capability constraints are there. At one side, there is a fund management issue. Funds are not rolling, even because of pandemic. All of us are struggling for that. When we say fund management, at the same time, at one side, there is a higher input cost, for import duties are higher. Cost of funding is more. There is a problem of synergy among our tool makers. Agility is one of the challenge. Because of changing requirements, customer is expecting the goods of highest quality with lowest cost. These are various challenges, and one side there is a skilled manpower availability and retention. So these are the challenges which are being faced by the tool makers, and tool makers are bogged down because of the challenges and struggling to take to the next level.
Right. So, how strategic thinking can help us, overcome these challenges?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Now, when you say strategic thinking, we need to understand that today all the tool makers who have been succeeding and who have performed, we are inclined to have latest technology machines with us, latest updates. Our people are trained. We are focusing on training and trying to meet the customer requirements. At one side, automobile sector is demanding a lot of requirements, process, systems, etc. We are trying to fulfill that. Now, we have achieved certain level of success, and every company is thinking in a certain direction. We have got system and processes in place. Now we must be wondering what this statistical thinking is about and how it will help. Yes, statistical thinking or strategical thinking, it plays a very important role in our long-term journey. When we consider various companies, the companies achieve the success, and different companies are having different systems. Now, when you say strategical way, it is a structured approach of thinking for our business in the current situation and in the future. Leaders are looking for next 4 to 5 years how we are proceeding. There are 3 companies. If you classify, companies can be categorized into 3 parts. First, companies are those companies who are stable. They have been thinking strategically. They have got their system in place for planning the business. As we manufacture the mold, we have got mold design ready at the front. That's the blueprint. Similarly, for the business, you have got the blueprint. So when you have got this business plan ready for next 2 to 5 years, you are clear about what you want to achieve. So there are companies who have got strategic plans ready with them, and they are doing it consistently. Second category of companies, they do have the plans with them. However, those plans may not be structured. They might be in little different way, but they are there.
Right.
So these 2 companies have got their strategic plans documented. People are aware of the plans. So any debacle comes, they are ready with their backup plan also, which helps them to go to the survival mode. And there is third category of companies who are having their plans. However, due to some or the other reason, they are not documented. Everything is there in the mind. their customer is driving them. So these are the three types of companies. Now I'm sure when I'm saying like this, most of you are thinking, where is my company and where is the industry? Are you curious to know that? Of course, you must be. So ma'am, can we have third poll for us?
Yes,
Are you
sir.
ready?
Yeah.
So here there is one small poll. Let us understand where our industry is headed for. The question is, does your company, you have to think for your company, does your company have your business plan as a written document, and is it being consistently done? The options are yes, your business has plan which is being done structured manner. Also, it is done consistently for more than 3 years. Second option is we have certain plan in place, but it may not be in a structured manner and it may not be consistent. And third one is we have business plan, but it is not as a document. You can just put any of these options. So while you are responding this, I would like to share the common survey and my observation while moving across the industry. What happens when people are working and I'm interacting with people during my audits, training, I interact with a lot of people. And during the interaction, I ask out of the curiosity. From that, my observation is that there are companies in the first category who will be around 10 to 15%. In the second category, the companies might be around, you can say 20 to 25%. And remaining companies are into third category. And study has also shown that companies who are surviving in the market, who are sustaining in the pandemic situation also, are those companies who are in first category. There was a survey conducted in 2010 by Landmark Association, wherein they have studied the companies who have their strategic plan. And after 10 years, they have seen, they could see that those companies who had their plan in place, the strike rate of their survival was more than those companies who did not have the plan. Study has also shown that when these strategic plans are made, it is not only preparation of document, it is the thinking that goes beyond the plan. When you are making the plan, all the functions are involved. You make alternate backup plans also. And it is not necessary that you will see the plans day in, day out. When you are putting thought process in place, at the time when you come across with unforeseen situations, you have clear plan and you can take out the plan. Yes, at this point of time, I can use this plan. So that thought process is important. It's not only the document, because most of the people believe that वो document बनाया तो हो गया. No. Document is required because it will give you clarity. But at the same time, only documentation will not help. Document is like a blueprint. But the thought process which goes beyond that, that is important. That's it. Madam, are you ready with the results?
Yeah.
Yes, these are the results. Can you see the results? Can you zoom the screen, ma'am?
Yes.
So out of 51, 7 people are into A category. So how much is the results?
14%.
So here we have 14% are in category A. 20% of the respondents are in category B. And 4% are in category C. 63% have chosen not to respond. Thank you very much, friends, for your response. It helps us to know where we are. And this is the status of companies. Now, companies are formed by the human being. We can't neglect human being. Then we look at the people, individual persons. Now here I will not take a poll due to time constraint, but I want everyone to ask yourself and write down in your diary, do you have personal goals and some plans ready with you for your individual, personal and professional life? Do you have your goals in place as a written document? I'm sure 70 to 80% people might not have it. That's the statistics, Pareto principle. So many people have tried to prove this principle wrong, but it has not gone. So the fact is only 20% of the people do have their goals as a written down, or they have clarity of goals. And if more people are clear about that, more organizations will get benefited from this, and you can have sustainable growth. Thank you.
Right. So, so thanks for making us understand about the importance of strategic thinking. But Mr. Naren, most of the business owners are aware of and the benefits of strategic thinking, but they at times find it difficult to implement it in a right direction.
Absolutely.
According to you, while doing the strategic planning and strategic thinking, what challenges are being faced by the business owners? How they can channelize their thinking in the right direction?
Yeah. So here, Nishant, I would like to say, I
Yeah.
come across this challenge very often in day-to-day
Right.
life when I interact with the business owners and managers. What is happening is that in the if you say tool making industry, it is MSME industry. We have got
Right.
very limited manpower, and there is lot of workload. First, the question comes: if I start doing strategic thinking and planning, what will happen about my mold delivery? Customer is there on the shop floor, whether I do strategic planning or I do mold delivery. So first constraint comes about your resource. I cannot put people for just strategic planning. Most of the people are struggling in day-to-day life for firefighting. We are busy in firefighting. Second thing is that we feel that when strategic, the word strategy, when I see, I feel it is a complex, it is not my cup of tea. It is for big companies. Companies like Tata Birla, they have got huge manpower, they will do it. There is major thing. If I start doing it, I will say, okay, I will start doing strategic thinking. When I start doing it, I don't know what to do. What I should start with, where I should finish with. So there is lack of clarity about approach to be followed. There is another perception that I do plan, but what is the use of plan if it is not going to be achieved? We make a lot of mold plans, project plans, everything we do, but ultimately end delivery is not met. Similarly, at the end of the quarter, I make a business plan. I spend 10 to 15 days, and after 6 months down the line, I will say there are a lot of variations and I will not be able to achieve the plan. So better way, let us go ahead with the flow. So people prefer to go ahead with the flow. जो सबका हो जाएगा देखा जाएगा. That's the way. So instead of putting the time in planning, let us put actual working. तब तक मेरा एक मोल्ड तो निकल जाएगा. ये thought process अपना होता है. So these are the challenges I have seen while implementing the strategic plan. And the most common point is, which people do not dare to accept, is lack of clarity. If we have clarity, we can do it. We have got clarity of manufacturing the mold. Whatever complex mold is there, we are manufacturing. Then why not strategic plan? Because we do not give priority and we do not take effort to understand it. That's it. Thank you very much.
Right. Right. So yeah, thanks for charting out these things, because strategic planning is not just for the large companies, and it holds value for every organization irrespective of the size. So according to you, what is the difference between strategy, strategic thinking, and strategic business plan? How one should differentiate between these three things?
Yeah. See, first of all, I would like to say applicability. we need to remember that this strategic thinking is applicable for every individual at our individual life, home front, as well as business front. And that's why it is very important to understand the basic concepts. While I'm studying this, and I have got a lot of insights from one of my mentor, Rich Horwath. Rich Horwath is one of the great person in strategic thinking. So from him, I do understand these concepts which I'm sharing with you. First of all, what is strategy? Very simple. Where am I today? Say I am here at this level today and I want to go at this place. So from my current level to the next destination I want to go. The bridge between my current status and the expected status is the strategy in simple terms. So for reaching to the given destination, there are multiple bridges. Now, which one I have to choose? It is my choice. Extending to this definition, strategy is also intellectual way for allocation of resources. How intellectually you allocate the resource, that is your strategy. Then what is strategical thinking? Strategical thinking is an ongoing process which is the ability to generate new insights on a continual basis, not at one point of time. So on a continual basis, we try to learn different things, different aspects in our business, which helps to address our competitive advantage. That is
Right.
strategical thinking. And the best way to adopt this thinking is every day and every situation, we need to ask 3 questions. In the given situation, what went well, what could not go well, and what could have been done better. If you develop this habit of asking 3 questions, you will have learning from it. And when you apply this learning at the next cycle, you are thinking strategically. So this culture is to be developed within the organization, within the individuals, so that everybody will do at least 1% better every day. You can see the compounding effect. That's strategic thinking. And what is strategic plan? Strategic plan is nothing but it is channeling the insights, whatever we have learned in strategic thinking in day-to-day life. We are channeling them and we are making a structured approach for next year, next 2 years for achieving our goals. So in strategic business plan, what you are doing, you are channeling the learnings from day-to-day life. You are understanding what are your objectives of the business, what are the strategic objectives, and how I can use that learnings for achieving the objectives. That is nothing but strategic business plan. So it will not be a complex, it should be a very simple. And the main difference between strategic thinking and strategic business plan is that strategic thinking is your daily ongoing activity, like your breathing. Whereas strategic business plan is the activity which you perform once in a year or once in 6 months. Normally, you prepare business plan for 1 year and then you review it on the half-yearly basis or quarterly basis.
Right.
That is the strategic business plan. Whereas strategic thinking is your day in, day out process. That's the difference between these 3 elements. I hope this point must have given you some insights.
Yeah, yeah. And thanks for the, giving it with the examples, Mr. Narendra. So it is.
One example
yeah.
I would like to share with you in our industry, which will help you have better clarity of what is the difference. Let us take example of one tool room who has got order for say 100 molds. 100 molds are to be manufactured in a year. We have got certain capacity With reference to that, you understand that I can make maximum 15 or 20 molds within my shop floor. Now, what do? I do have option either to regret the order that I can't make, which most of the people will not do because I'm getting business. Nobody will refuse the business. Then what is the next option? I can find out whether I can outsource this some of the molds. So I will outsource and then get the order fulfilled. Whatever is possible within my shop floor, I will do it and I will outsource. And third possibility, can I increase my capacity by adding some machines or infrastructure so that I can manufacture 100 molds? So here are three strategies. First is regret the order, second is outsource, and third one is increase your capacity. These are the three strategies. Now, how will you take the decision? You will take cost benefit analysis and then decide the best option. So for every objective, there can be multiple strategies. So that was the example, I think, which can be helpful to understand what strategy is.
Right. Thanks for the example, Mr. Naren. So it is believed that risk management is a process of identifying and assessing the and controlling the threats to the organization's capital and earning. And one needs to have a proper strategy in place for the same.
Absolutely.
So my question is, how strategy and risk are related to each other?
See, these are two sides of a coin.
Yeah.
When you say strategy, risk is involved with it. When you say risk, it has got opportunity also. What I have found is that in most of the people's mind, there is a confusion in the concept of risk. In the fundamentals of management system, it is said risk is very simple definition. It is effect of uncertainty. We face a lot of challenges and we consider that as a risk, but that's not so. For my achieving the objective, what is the effect of uncertainty? Say uncertainty is the availability of manpower. Because of unavailability of manpower, what is the risk involved? Risk involved is I will not be able to deliver the mold, which will lead to customer dissatisfaction. So scarcity of manpower will lead to dissatisfaction of customer. That is the risk. Why? Because I will not be able to deliver the molds on time. So not able to deliver the mold on time is the consequence, but the risk is customer dissatisfaction. So for every strategy, when you adopt the strategy, if you are not able to fulfill that strategy, there is likelihood of negative impact. So if the implication of the challenge or uncertainty is negative, it is a risk. If the implication is positive, it is an opportunity. So we need to understand what are the implications, whether it is a positive or negative.
Right. So till now we have learned, about the importance and the basics of strategic thinking and all. So how? So you have explained the benefits of strategic thinking and what are the challenges in adopting these things. So how one can implement the strategic thinking in their day-to-day life?
Okay. See, for implementing strategic thinking, I will propose a very simple 5-step process.
Right.
First step is we need to decide our purpose. Once we decide our purpose, we have to decide our business model. Once you develop our business model, we have to develop our plan for the business, which I call it as a GHOST framework, G-O-S-T. Once you have the GHOST framework ready, then you should have review mechanism for your business plan. And from the review mechanism, you will monitor your performance and identify the improvements. And last but not least, we need to understand 3A approach for disciplining ourselves. So strategic thinking should be disciplined. It should be inculcated within ourselves. Let me elaborate these 5 steps one by one so that we'll be more clear about that. The first is deciding the purpose. Now in this stage, what we do, while we decide the purpose, we carry out the exercise of deciding our mission, vision, and value. This is the most important exercise which I suggest every organization should do at least once in 2 years. If it is done yearly, fantastic, but at least once in 2 years. So those who don't have the mission, vision, values, they can set. Those who have, they can revisit. Mission is purpose of existence, which is from the perspective of customer. Vision is from the perspective of our company, where our company will be after 2 years from now or 3 years from now.
Right.
And values. Values are guiding factors, which are ideology of the company, which is helpful for creating the culture, which gives principles for our business, code of honor. So that should be set first. Next is your business model. In the business model, what do you do? Now, when I say business model, again, our little voice says, what is this model? What I can understand? No, it is not complex. So here in the business model, what organization does? Organization decides how we create, deliver, and capture a value. Please understand CDC, how the organization will create, deliver, and capture the value. What do we create? In creation mode, we decide what is my core competency, what am I good at, how I can distinguish myself from my peers, how I can serve better to my customer. So I focus on my strength, not others. What I can do better, that I will do it. So that creation is done. In deliver, I will understand my value chain system, how I can deliver my customer, what are my access point to customers. When customer has to access my organization, who are the touch points for customer, single point of contact. And then I will capture my price positioning. What is my USP? On what point I can leverage my customer. So here I will have my revenue generation model, how I can optimize it by creation, innovation, that strategies I will decide. So this is nothing but the business model. So here I am doing some sort of self-introspection and going ahead. Next point is developing the plan. In developing the plan, I will start with my understanding the current context. I will decide my goals. I will decide my objectives. What is the strategy and what is the tactics I will use. So here, normally what we do, we carry out SWOT analysis, understand customer expectations. After understanding customer expectations, we decide our targets. For achieving the targets, what are my strategies and what are my strategic action plans? When I make these action plans and then I roll out the plans, my business is rolling on. So here, the GHOST framework is very important. What is GHOST framework? It is goal, objective, strategy, and tactic. Say for example, goal and objective. Goal is the generic word, objective is specific. Here we address what to do. My goal is to manufacture 100 molds. Now manufacturing of 100 molds is the objective. What is my goal? Goal is the sales growth. Company has objective of sales growth. That is goal. It is generic, not specific. Now, when I want to achieve sales growth, what is specific objective? Specific objective will be, I will achieve sales growth of 50%. I will manufacture 100 molds. That is my objective. Now, from this objective, I will have my strategy. So for manufacturing 100 molds, what is my strategy? Say outsourcing. That is my strategy. Again, strategy is general. Now next come tactical. What is tactical? I will have micro level plan how I will implement the outsourcing strategy. And what are the action points in the tactical plan? So for manufacturing 100 molds, what type of suppliers I will require, that I will identify. Who are the possible suppliers who can give me that? I will do head hunting. Then I will do the evaluation of supplier, onboarding of supplier, and then I will put the order for them. I will follow with the orders and I will get the orders done. All this is tactical planning. So you have to move from one step to next step, which will help you to achieve the goal. This is the GHOST framework. What I find is that most of the times we are in the tactical planning only, and we do not understand the demarcation between the three. So if that is done, that will help us to have clear blueprint of our business. Now, once this GHOST framework is done, next level is you have to have structured mechanism for monitoring your business performance. It is either monthly, quarterly, half yearly, etc. And you identify whether we have achieved the targets or not. If not, what we have not achieved and how we can do it better. Last but not least, for inculcating culture of strategic thinking, we need, for inculcating the culture of strategic thinking, what we need is 3A disciplined approach. What is 3A disciplined approach? A for acumen, A for allocation, and A for action. What is A for acumen? Acumen is nothing but generating business insights. What we have seen in strategic thinking, day in, day out, we are asking ourselves, and what is the question we are asking here? What is the key insight which is driving my initiative or my project activities? So if I am running a XYZ project, I should ask, what is the key insight in driving this project? So there I will get the answer. When I get that burning desire, I will automatically run behind it. Second is allocation. In allocation, you focus on the resources and have trade-offs. We have got a lot of resources available. We have got a lot of actions to be done. So which is best for the given project, that we will do. Here, the question we ask is, what trade-off I will make to focus on the resource? And here, one unconventional approach I will recommend everyone. You can try it for 1 month, and then if it is okay, you can continue. The approach is that most of the business owners and managers, we follow time management tools. We follow to-do list. We write our diaries. What is my 10 things to be done today? We are okay with that. But just try this way. Instead of just doing what I have to do, write down not to-do list. What are the things which I am not supposed to do, but I am doing, that I have to stop doing? Just write it down. Today, we are spending 70 to 80% of the time in firefighting. If you start following this concept and stop doing the things which are not to be done, you can see the miracle. That will definitely help you improve your operational efficiency by 30 to 40%. And last one is action. Execution of your strategy to achieve the goals. Here you ask the question, what action I should take to achieve my goal? That means whatever plan I have made, I will implement that. So if you follow this approach, I am sure it will be very easy for you to adopt this strategic thinking. That's it from my side. Thank you, Nishant.
Thanks. So one last question also from my side before we take on questions from audience. In the meantime, I would request audience to post their questions in the chat box, which Mr. Naren can address after our conversation. So my last question to you, Mr. Naren, is what are the 5 key suggestions for tool makers with respect to strategic thinking from you?
Okay. So for tool makers, what I would like to strongly recommend, first we need to have the self-introspection. We need to understand where we are today and where we want to go. We should follow the 5-step process what I had suggested. You might be at step 1, step 2, step 3. Don't worry. Wherever you are today, you start and you will reach to the next level. Second thing is, try to develop your team on the strategic thinking front, because people are the essence of the organization. So when people are developed, automatically the organization moves to the next level. So strategic thinking and mentoring, I believe that these two must be considered as a core competency skills for each and every person of the organization, including business owners. When you focus on this core competency over a period of time, you will master the skill. And most important point, develop the concept of mentor-mentee within your organization. This is the most successful concept which has been followed by Cambridge University. In the Cambridge University, they have got the concept that every student is given a mentor who is senior person. For first year student, second year student is the mentor. For second year student, third year student is the mentor. And for third year student, their professor is mentor. Likewise, the linkage is formed, to which people learn by observation. So we learn from our leaders. Like I have learned all the things from my colleagues, my seniors. I have got a lot of gratitude for them. So this concept can be followed. That's it from my side.
Right. So I think from our side also, I'm done. Thank you, Mr. Naren, for enlightening us with the importance of strategic thinking and risk management, how to implement the same in our day-to-day life, difference between strategy, strategic thinking, and strategic business plans, among others. Sure, our audience have also got a clear direction towards this strategic thinking, and now it's time to take audience questions. Let me check if there are any questions. Then
I hope that I could add some insights to the audience. And I'm also grateful to all the audience and the Tagma team for providing me this opportunity to interact with you. And I'm happy to address the questions. If you have anything, you can just tell me
Right.
what are the questions.
Yeah, so there is a question from Mr. Anand Subramaniam.
Mhm.
Can you give us an example for not to-do list?
Okay, first class. Not to do list.
Yeah.
Now, when I look at my day-to-day work, not to do list. For example, a manager who is coming in morning and he has got 10 things to be done. Now, what is the role of manager? He has to identify the task to be done. He has to delegate to the team and get the things done.
Right.
So when a tool room manager is there, he has got work to be done on 10 different modes. He has come for the meeting and started, he has delegated the work. Suddenly customer call comes, one mold is urgent, it is to be delivered tomorrow. This manager keeps all the things aside, he checks the things, the mold is at some XYZ machine, which is stuck up for some rework. And he goes there and looks at the things. He finds that the supervisor is unable to do some job, some delegation, and he involves himself into that activity. So ideally, who is supposed to do this? This is to be done by supervisor. So the manager doing the job of supervisor is not to-do list. Supervisor doing the job of operator is not to-do list. So here, what is important? I need to have clarity of what am I supposed to do. Now here again the point comes. I do understand that when there is nobody and customer is there on my head, what I have to do? There is no option. So immediately you cannot change this situation. Please understand. Over a period of time, slowly, you will come out of that. Please understand the very good quote I remember here. As Stephen Covey has said, the problem what you see is not the real problem. The problem, you look at the way of the problem. You have to change the way of looking at the problem. And the problem has created why? Because we have done certain things previously with certain way. Our past is the reason for that. So if you have to change the situation, you have to think differently. You have to change the way of thinking. I hope
Right.
you got my answer.
Right. It was insightful now. So there is a question from Mr. Deven. Role of a technology in daily life in human welfare.
Mhm. So role of technology, there are two ways of looking at it. It is the way how you look at it. Technology is one way, it is helping to speed up our task, reduce our timings. At the same time, disadvantage is that if you are more accustomed to technology, you are creating rust in our brain. We should not be so much accustomed to technology. We can leverage the technology to certain extent, but not at the cost of our brain. Our brain should always be alert.
Right. Right. Mr. Kirpal has a nice note for you. Thank you, Mr. Narenji, for sharing your wisdom with us.
Thank you, Krupal.
So I don't think there are any more questions. Maybe if you have any more questions for Mr. Naren that you haven't asked, you can write to us at Tagma as well, and then we can reach out to Mr. Naren. So thank you so much, Mr. Naren Ramukar, for giving your valuable time, also sharing insights with us. I'm sure all of us today has learned something more about strategic thinking and risk management, and definitely it will help us in our business going
Thank you.
forward.
Thank you,
Thank you
Nishant.
so much for
And
your
thank
time.
you all participants. I wish you best of luck.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Please stay tuned. Tagma will reach out to you for the next with the information of next tool talk in few days time. Stay tuned. Thank you so much. Thank you so much everyone. Thank you so much, Naresh.
Thank you.
Thank you.